As touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth.
Go ahead.
And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing yet as he ought to know. But if any man love God, the same is known of him.
Go ahead.
As concerning therefore the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is none other God but one.
Now we know that, and then a lot of us know that, but there's not in every man this knowledge. Every man don't know that. You know, because you got, and the reason I know they don't know, because you got people want to serve this God. They want to do Buddha. They want to do some other God.
That's right,
or they want to do some other God.
Yes, sir.
And they don't understand that that is not really God, even though people worship them as God. So he said it's not in every man this understanding that there is only one true and living God. Go ahead and read on.
Verse 5.
Go ahead.
For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many and lords many.
He said what he said, though there be they that are called gods, and there are gods many, and there are lords many, especially if you, well, there are some countries that still have it. But if you go back, you will find that many nations, they had a whole bunch of different gods.
That's right.
You know, they had a god of this, they had a god of the water, a god of the food, a god of the dirt, a god of the heaven, a god of the clothes, a god of everything. You understand what I'm saying? And there are some nations that still worship all of these gods, and even in this country, they are worshiping some of these gods, but they are calling them by another name.
That's right, brother. Yes, sir.
Before you get out of here, you're going to understand what I'm saying. Guarantee you're going to understand. Go ahead and read some more.
Verse 6.
Go ahead.
But to us there is but one God, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him.
Go ahead.
And one Lord Jesus Christ, by whom are all things, and we by him.
Go ahead and read.
Howbeit there is not in every man that knowledge.
See what it says? Howbeit there is not in every man that knowledge. And there are many that don't have that knowledge. That's why they are worshiping all of these other gods here. Go ahead and read on.
For some with conscience of the idol unto this hour eat it as a thing offered unto an idol. And
now let's go to, that is good. Let's go to Psalm chapter 96 now. Psalm chapter 96, and we will pick it up at verse 1. Psalm 96 and verse 1. You know, we're going to show you how paganism crept into the church. You know, but the Lord started it out. He gave the church instructions, and all the church had to do was just follow those instructions that the Lord gave. And we're going to understand how paganism crept into the church, and it is still in it to this very day. Let's start reading, though, at Psalm chapter 96, and we'll pick it up at verse 1. Psalm 96, and we will begin reading at verse 1. 96 and 1. 96 and 1. Okay, go ahead and read.
O sing unto the Lord a new song. Sing unto the Lord all the earth.
Go ahead.
Sing unto the Lord, bless his name. Show forth his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory among the heathen, his wonders among all people.
Now you see what the Lord said? He said declare his glory among the nations and his wonders among all people. Go ahead and read on.
For the Lord is great and greatly to be praised.
Go ahead.
He is to be feared above all gods.
Read on.
For all the gods of the nations are idols.
See, that's what if you're not dealing with the true and living God, then what you are dealing with an idol God. All the gods of the nations, they are idols. And you know, I don't care by what name you call them, they are all idols. They are not the true and living God if you are not dealing with the God of the Bible. That is the only true and living God. Go ahead and read on.
But the Lord made heavens.
Now, let's go. But the true and living God, he was the one that created the heaven and the earth and set everything out there. That is the God that you have to serve. Let's go to Numbers chapter 33, and we'll begin reading at verse 50. When the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt, you know, he gave them instructions, gave them his commandments, and all of that. Then we're going to find out he told them some things that I don't want you to do. You know, when you get into the land, then don't do these things. Because the nations that are in the land, they are doing these things. And I don't want you to do these things. You know, there was a reason that the Lord had that done, because God realized that if Israel got in the land and started mixing with the people, then they would start serving their gods, and that would turn them away from him. Start reading, though, at Numbers chapter 33, and began reading at verse 50. Numbers 33, Pick it up at verse 50. Go ahead and read, bro.
And the Lord spake unto Moses in the plains of Moab by Jordan.
Now, this was just before he was about to take them into the land. He said, and he spake unto them in the plains of Moab. Go ahead and read.
Near Jericho, saying,
Go ahead.
Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye are passed over Jordan into the land of Canaan, then ye shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their pictures, and destroy all their molten images, and quite pluck down all their high places.
Now he said, I want you to get rid of all them pictures. You know, them pictures, they ain't nothing new. You understand what I'm saying? They always was around. And you know, all the nations. Now he's dealing with Ham here, because that is who was in the land. But you know, it wasn't just Ham that's dealing with all these strange gods. There was other nations as well. But here he is dealing with Ham. So now he said, I want you to get rid of all of them pictures and destroy all of them images. And because there's a reason that God wanted them to do that, because he did not want Israel to start to serve their gods. Let's go to Exodus chapter 34, and we'll begin reading at verse 10. Exodus 34, and we will pick it up at verse 10. Because the Lord didn't want Israel to learn these customs, because these customs are vain, and they would turn Israel away from serving him. And that applies today. If you start to get into the custom that was handed down to us by these various nations, then they are going to turn you away from the true and living God, because their customs are truly vain.
Sir.
They are to no profit. The Lord told you exactly what it is that he wanted you to do. And that applies to Jew or Gentile. It does not matter. Let's go to Exodus chapter 34 and begin reading at verse 10. Exodus 34 and verse 10. Go ahead and read, bro.
And he said, Behold, I make a new covenant. Before all thy people I will do marvels, such as have not been done in all the earth, nor in any nation. And all the people among which thou art shall see the work of the Lord. For it is a terrible thing that I will do with thee. Observe thou that which I command thee this day. Behold, I drive out before thee the Amorite.
Now he said, you observe what I commanded you to do, Israel. And he said, I'm going to drive out the Amorite. These are all of the Hamite nations that was in the land at this time. And today we know them as Africans. But at this time, they was known as Ham's children. And he said, now, I'm going to drive all these nations out. Go ahead and read.
And the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, whither thou goest, lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee.
Now he said, you be careful, Israel. I don't want you to make no covenant with these people, lest this thing be a snare unto you. You know, this is why Lord wanted Israel to drive these people out. And this is why the Lord, because the Lord knew if Israel got entangled with these people, then they was going to start to serve these people's God. And the Lord did not want that. So now he said, you know, you do what I say, least they become a snare unto you, and they have become a snare unto Israel too.
Yes,
even to this very day, they have become a snare to Israel, and not just to Israel, but to everybody that will serve the true and living God. These customs, and we are going to read some of them, they have truly turned away God's people from serving him. The only way you can serve the true and living God is by being obedient unto the thing that he commanded you. That is why I read you a few of them. So you will understand what God said you are supposed to do. And then you look at what's being done today, and you can determine by that whether or not the true and living God is being served. Go ahead. What verse are it?
Verse 13.
Go ahead and read.
But ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves.
Now this is what the Lord said for Israel. I want you to destroy their altars and their images and break down their groves and everything, because I don't want you having no association with their gods whatsoever. Go ahead and read on.
For thou shalt worship no other God. For the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God.
See what the Lord said? You know, because I don't want you worshiping no other God, because the Lord, whose name is jealous, he is a jealous God. He required total